How many of you have multiple children? Have they ever asked you which one's your favorite?
Yes.
Being required to choose one life skill to discuss at P20 talks presents me with a comparable challenge. Spirit, exercise, digital safety, financial literacy, interpersonal communication. Each of them is so central to individuals and the communities they construct thriving. There is, however, one skill that has proven particularly life-altering for me. Ironically, it is not on the life skills report card that I created to communicate with my children, and that's because back then, I didn't appreciate it as a skill. Today, I do. And that skill is gratitude. My education in gratitude as a skill began about 10 years ago as well. I had just returned from driving my children to school, and for some reason I was in a really lousy mood. And I do not remember today why I was upset. All I remember is that my conscience decided to have a word with me. And apparently it didn't think I was going to listen, because it took out a bullhorn and said, "Marlaine, you are one miserable woman. Billions of people around the planet have 1/4 life's necessities that you enjoy daily. You bathe in drinking water while millions thirst. You toss food down a garbage disposal while thousands of children search for sustenance in trash heaps. You have the love of multiple family and friends while thousands of others suffer in solitude and loneliness. And you're miserable?" It worked. It got in. I decided I needed to do something different. So I began that day maintaining a gratitude journal. Simple while that task seems, I seriously sucked initially. Some mornings, to be perfectly honest, I felt more like shooting my husband and strangling my children than I did writing thank yous on the blank pages of a gratitude journal. But I forced myself to write anyway. After about 6 weeks, I happened to notice one day that the sky was a really gorgeous shade of blue. Now, I lived in San Diego, California, where the sky is paradise blue every single day. But on this day, it was positively heavenly. And I looked around, and the trees and the grass were distinctly greener as well. And I wondered for a moment if I was going blind. I thought, well, maybe our eyes are like stars, and right before they go out entirely, they get really bright. My news site continued. I didn't go blind, and within a couple weeks, I got an answer to my question. I was listening to the radio, and somebody was talking about, a man was talking about the exact same phenomenon that I'd observed. And I turned the volume up. I was so surprised. And he credited it to his gratitude practice. And he actually described physiologically why this occurs. He says a calm brain receives more oxygen, and when the oxygen comes to our eyes are able to absorb more of the colors that are present. At the same time, when we're focused on things we adore, things we appreciate, the stress hormones in our body that cause everything to constrict and shut down, like cortisol, decrease, and the love hormones, like oxytocin, that open us up and enhance our sensitivity, increase. I happened at the time to be working as a personal trainer, and I was really surprised at the educational curve between my fitness clients and my gratitude practice. My fitness clients, when they first started doing their program, they didn't really like it. But after a few weeks with me, they actually started confessing that they were a little addicted to it. And the same thing with me, even though initially I really begrudged this time that I had to, write in this journal. After a few weeks, I found myself really longing for that 30 minutes in the day that I was going to work in my gratitude journal. Additionally, just as my fitness clients, sometimes I would show them an exercise and it would take them weeks before they would master the biomechanics. But once they did, they wouldn't only be better at that exercise, they would be better at other exercises. They had better neuromuscular communication in their brain. And the same thing was occurring with my gratitude practice. Not only was I getting better at finding things to be grateful for when I was writing in my journal, but it was easier to find things to be grateful for when I was standing in the line at a grocery store, or stuck in traffic, washing dishes, doing the floors. And this was intensely humbling for me because for so long, I'd understood happiness as being something that the world sort of delivered you, and it was circumstantial. It was dependent upon circumstances, things going well. And now I was experiencing happiness as something, an infinite well, something that was of infinite supply within me, just waiting to be tapped. After about a year of practicing doing my gratitude journal every day, something else became abundantly clear. Not only was I finding myself in gratitude gear, or I would call it gratitude channel. You could have misery channel or gratitude channel, switching more quickly. I literally had, physically, more things in my life for which to be grateful. You hear the saying, that which you focus on will flourish. It's true. I learned when I was a young child, I learned a song. I'm not going to sing it because if I do, that'll turn this nice little chat into a train wreck. But I learned a song and it went, love is like a magic penny. Hold it fast and you won't have any. Spend it and you'll have so many, they'll roll all over the floor. For the first time in my life, I was literally swimming in pennies. And it wasn't a direct exchange as if you're kind to somebody and they're kind back. It was more like you're in the middle of a river and everything's being pulled in with you, and people that were loving and non-judgmental and passionate as I was came in to support me and literally carry me along in life. Rather than me having to work for everything I wanted, people were coming in to just facilitate the whole process. It completely switched the way I understood life worked. Today, I no longer maintain a daily written gratitude journal. I started a practice about a year ago that I call active gratitude practice. I start with my morning prayers, and then I go on electronic media, or I may write a note to someone, But consistently, I will also go on electronic media. And those of you who are connected with me on electronic media, you see my hearts. I don't write. I'll just put little hearts because I'm staying in the love and appreciation, in the gratitude gear. And I just want to tell you that I love you. And oftentimes I will say that. I'll say, have I told you lately that I love you? And the beautiful thing about this active gratitude practice, which I've elongated, and initially was about 30 minutes, I've turned it, I'll get up earlier, I'll spend an hour, is it tunes me as if I'm a musical instrument. And I can walk into it and I'm out of attunement. But after I've done it for an hour, I'm so beautifully attuned. So, a lot of times when we think about organizational skills, we think about, again, supplies or office supplies or something. But today I realize, if I learned this earlier, when we organize our thoughts, we can turn anything, cleaning rooms, setting the table, into a joyous experience rather than a chore that you need to do before you go have fun. Thank you.